4, 3, 2, and 1. After a disappointing 5-4 loss to Fort Wayne Concordia at Busch Stadium last season in the Final Four, Phil Kendall made it an obsession to return to the state finals. He said it that day that he would be back, but as everyone knows, it's easy to say and harder to do. But through hard work, determination, and grit, he and his Wildcat teammates will be back at Busch. Last year's experience has obviously motivated Kendall.
After last year's incident with the balk, I was determined to get back to the state finals in order to redeem myself and just get the team back there and have another shot at it. So it's a personal challenge to myself that I've put on since the end of last year, and it feels great to get back.
Even though baseball is a team game, Kendall will be the focus as he will pitch in the game on Saturday. In 32-1 Center Grove, the ace right-hander, who has compiled a perfect 12-0 record on the mound, will face a powerful lineup led by A.J. Zapp, a first-round draft choice of the Atlanta Braves, who is hitting over 500 with 16 home runs and 50 RBIs. Kendall is familiar with Zapp and other Trojan players through his summer involvement with the Indiana Bulls baseball team. PK says Zapp is a patient hitter, and he has some guys behind him that can do the job.
He knows the strike zone real well, and he doesn't swing anything out of the zone. And whenever he gets in the zone, he doesn't try to pull off everything. He just goes with the pitch and drives it no matter where it is. We're going to try to have to keep the people in front of him off base, and if we can do that, we'll be fine. Then we can just go right at him where he can't really hurt you. And then they have some good 4 and 5 hitters behind him that if you get too cautious as Zapp, putting him on base at 4 and 5 hitters can hurt you just as bad.
With all the potential power on display, Kendall might breathe a sigh of relief seeing the spacious dimensions of Busch Stadium as opposed to the cozy confines of Rixer Field.
With a big park like Busch Stadium, you got a lot more freedom. You can go at hitters a lot better than what you could at some playing like here, where you have to be more fine with your pitchers. You don't have to worry about missing as much. You got a lot more territory to play with, and it's more of a pitcher's ballpark than a hitter, so you just go at them and try to keep them off base.
Some players might be in all of Busch Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Indians, but Kendall thinks the Wildcats, since they were there last year, could feel right at home.
I think it gives us an advantage. I don't think they've ever been there before, and we've been there. A lot of guys in this team, most guys in this team were there last year and know what it's like to be in a state finals, so we should have no problem with the mental part of the game, but just getting ready to play.
Mm-hmm. From a personal standpoint, how does it feel going back again? And your career as far as...
Last year it felt good going to state, but I think this year feels a lot better. You know, as a senior, you always want to go out as a winner, and you know, going to the state finals gives you a chance to do that. And I think, you know, we've worked hard all year, and you know, the hard work's starting to pay off.
It feels really good to go back to India. Last year, I mean, I was a part of the team, but I really didn't get to play that much. I cheered from the sidelines, and this is my year to get out there and show everybody what we can do. And we're really looking forward to going up there and maybe coming back with a win.
Going into Saturday's tournament, Jasper will be the only repeat team up at this year's state finals. The guys think that may be an advantage.
A lot of this year's team doesn't have a whole lot of playing experience, but we were all there last year, so I think we won't be as nervous as maybe so last year. And you know, we've all been there and we know what it's like.
It's an unbelievable feeling getting out in front of all those people. And last year, after we lost, we went up and sat and watched the final game. And after we sat there, it's just another game of baseball, and we just got to relax and just play like we do every week.
In Center Grove, the Wildcats will be facing a 32-1 team, but the players are looking forward to the challenge.
It's great. I mean, you want to play the best teams, you know, because it's just fun to, you know, to compete against some good teams, and you know, they're an awful good team, and you know, hopefully we can beat them.
I don't know too much about them. I know they're a pretty good hitting team, and it's just another game, and we're gonna, I guess, go with Phil, and he's going to do whatever he can, and our defense is just going to back him up, and we're going to move runners up and score as much as we can.
Visiting with Jasper coach Terry Gobert, and coach, as we get ready to go to the state, just look back on the semi-state. It was obviously a big 2 games for the club, especially that thriller in the night game against Floyd Central.
Well, a very exciting ball game, and very fortunate to have been in the game, really. We made a lot of mistakes early. defensively and putting people on base, but then we got big plays when we needed them, and definitely, you know, we made the most of our hits that ball game, or opportunities as well.
You look at the pitching situation, you use the 3 pitchers in a semi-state championship game, you try to piece things together, and that's probably exactly what happened.
Well, it was. You know, you have a plan, and then you have what you may have to do. Yeah. And we went to what we had to do, and that was get what we could out of Annis, get what we could out of Matt, and hang on as long as we could, and then bring Phil in and hope he had enough to finish it. And, you know, obviously he did. He was throwing the ball very well at the end of the ball game.
What about Matt's pitching performance? He hadn't been out there since the sectional, and he threw the ball right, it looked like.
Well, it was big, because then we would have been in a world of hurt. You know, it's hard to save Kendall, knowing that you may lose the lead, so you may have to bring him in, but then you don't have him to finish it. So, you know, all 3 of those kids really did a good job for us.
We sit back in the winter months and talk about the upcoming baseball season, and with this team, did you ever imagine that they could be going to Indianapolis as far as what you had coming back and the people you lost?
Well, actually, we did, and you know that because we talked about it. We also knew we could get beat in the first round of the sectional, and it's the type of team that can't come out flat, can't make a lot of mistakes normally and win, but when they play well and together and they play as a group and just hang in there, they're going to be right in it every ball game. And you know, as the season went, we pointed out to them, anytime we got beat or got in trouble, it was things we were doing to ourselves. So the good news about that is there's something that can be done about it. You know, if teams are coming on and they're just blasting you and there's nothing you can do, that's discouraging. But when you're making mistakes that are correctable mistakes, then you realize, hey, we got a shot. And a credit to these kids and to Matt Stillwell and Dan Sherry for working so hard with them. They just kept, you know, plugging away at it, and it got better as the season went on.
I know you come into every season with some question marks. How has this team handled those question marks as we get ready to go to the state?
Well, our pitching has been strong, and you know, Vannis had a good tournament for us, but we also scored a lot of runs for him last year, and we weren't sure how he'd do in the tighter ball games, and he's done a fantastic job. We thought Matt, you know, if Matt's totally healthy, he would be the pitcher we thought he was this year. He picked up a lot in his velocity, and his breaking ball's better. Luke Werner's done a great job as a sophomore. People forget early on he was really carrying the load for us. And then Phil Kendall's just been phenomenal. I mean, the job he's done, you know, you hope he does well, and he's gone even beyond that.
You look at the experiences at the state championship. What do you tell the guys that haven't been there? And I know you want to perfect it each time you go, and it's going to be a different situation with a new group of guys.
Well, fortunately, you know, being there last year, our key starters, Mock and Kendall, and Linebach and O'Connor were actually in the game and playing throughout the entire ball game, and that's got to help. And then our outfield, they were dressed out and a part of the ball club in there, and anything's a plus, but you still got to come through. And the game itself is no different than any other ball game other than the hype of the game. It still comes down to execution, making the routine plays, and that's something that, you know, we're trying to work on this week.
We hear a lot about A.J. Zapp. Give us a scattering report on Center Grove, if you would.
Well, they're strong throughout the lineup. They hit over 400 as a team, and all their guys are hitting about 340 or better. And they are legit good hitters. Sometimes you hear these averages and you kind of laugh. We're not laughing this week. We know they're good hitters. And they have guys at the top of the lineup that can fly, you know, get on base, drag, bunt, do whatever it takes. And they're number 9 batter as well. And what happens, Kurt, a lot of times you spend so much time worried about Zapp that Vance and some of the others, Clutter and some of the others are the ones that come up and hurt you. So you can't go into it just worrying about A.J. Zapp. You know, hopefully one of the keys is keeping him off base ahead of him so you don't face him in a situation where you have to give him his pitch.
What about their pitching going in?
Well, I think their strength is their hitting, and they obviously have good pitching or they wouldn't be in the state finals. It doesn't appear from the reports to be overpowering pitching, and I think another key for us is going to be stay in the ball game for 7 innings and make them work. They've had some blowouts, and they haven't had to play defense for 7 innings, and they haven't had to have a pitcher go out there and throw 125 pitches and have his stuff in the 7th. So if we can stay in there and get to them, you know, I think we'll have a shot at it.
You prepared for a lot of big games. Do you think the guys are ready to go, or is it hard to tell here as we go in?
Well, I think they're ready. I mean, you know, we sit there and think, how could you not be ready when you look at it from the standpoint that's the state finals? But we've had a good week, and Kurt, this is our first week so far where we've gotten every day of practice in on the field, and we're better now than we were last weekend. And you know, hopefully we'll come out and show that on Saturday. But we've improved tremendously as a ball club this week.
Coach, thanks a lot for all your time, and best of luck in Indianapolis.
Well, thank you, Kurt, and we're happy to be going back.
That's Jasper coach Terry Gobert. We're back with more after this.